And so we continue going through some of the things that's going on in this particular conversation, an argument between the husband and wife. And we get this imagery that the wife brings up, and the thing that's bothering her the most as she's looking out across to the grave site. And she starts to use, she's using the second person imperative language as well. And she's starting to repeat the way that he talks, bringing herself on a level with him. You can't because you don't know how to speak. She is now actually using a lot more power in her words. She's no longer shrinking back and becoming dull, and she's actually moving toward a much more animated persona. This is a very, very angry person here. If you had any feelings, you that dug with your own hand, how could you, his little grave? I saw you from that very window there. So she's actually returning to the place where she watched the burial take place. This little private, intimate moment between the father and the dead son. This incredible situation that she watched from the window. She's put herself at a distance from him, even during that process of grieving. She didn't even go to his little version of a funeral. She was up on the window, up on the stairs there, angrily looking down. I saw you from that very window and making the gravel leap and leap in air, leap like that, you know, leap, leap, leap. This movement that's going on, almost suggesting that he was aggressively digging. He was fast, and he was not doing it with any mindfulness or care or concern. It was almost like he's digging a hole to, you know, plant a tree or whatever it was that he'd normally do, and land so lightly and roll back down the mound beside the hole. I thought, who is this man? I don't know you. So there's that moment of disconnection, and there's that moment where she actually goes, hang on, this is something that's completely foreign to me, completely alien to me in terms of behaviour. I'm losing a sense of who you personally are and why I'm even with you. And I crept down the stairs and up the stairs to look again. So she's moved down, possibly to go out to help, but then she's gone, no, I'm going to go back up and keep watching. And still your spade kept lifting. Then you came in. I heard your rumbling voice out in the kitchen, and I don't know why, but I went near to see with my own eyes. You could sit there with stains on your knees of the fresh earth from your own baby's grave and talk about everyday concerns. So here, she's reminding him of basically really the epic situation that's going on here, the total reality of this man who's buried a child, buried his baby, and he sits down as if he's come in from farming, and it's ordinary, and this really hurts her. It really confuses her, and it hurts her. Outside, you had stood the spade up against the wall outside there in the entry, for I saw it. So this thing here, this object, should be and might be sacred. This is an object that is exceptionally important. It takes on more than its own self. It's no longer just the spade. It is the thing that buried the child. So therefore, just prop it up against the wall. This is something to be kept as an artifact, almost a religious sort of desire here for that sort of sense of an artifact or a religious icon. I shall laugh, the worst laugh I've ever laughed. I'm cursed. God, if I don't believe, I'm cursed. Sign of a bit of a mad sort of language here. I can repeat the very words you were saying. This laughter, the worst laughter, mad laughter, the fact that I'm cursed with you and this death. 3 foggy mornings, and now she's quoting him here. 3 foggy mornings and 1 rainy day. Three foggy mornings and 1 rainy day will rot the best birch fence a man can build. So he talks about the weather, and the effect it's having on the property, on the fences. That's what he mentions when he comes in. Now, obviously, this is a lack of understanding on her part about how a man might grieve, and he's made that point already. He's actually said, as a man, I have a different way of thinking. You have to understand that. Please show me the way you think. Tell me and teach me how to think like you. But if you can't, please don't judge me that I think differently from you. But it's still her voice and it's her time. And she says, think of it, talk like that at such a time. Nice exclamation mark there. What had how long it takes a birch to rot to do with what was in the darkened parlour? Why would you bring that up? You couldn't care. Not shouldn't, didn't. It's couldn't care. You actually were incapable of caring properly. You do not have the sensibility to care. There is something wrong with you. Who is this man? Who are you? You are alien to me. This is an alien idea to not be able to grieve here. The nearest friends can go with anyone to death, comes so far short that they might as well not try to go at all. No, from the time when one is sick to death, one is alone, and he dies more alone. Friends make pretense of following to the grave, but before one is in it, their minds are turned, making the best of their way back to life and living people and things they understand. So she gets philosophical here. She gets quite into a pattern about what grief actually is. Okay? That death for even a friend, which is just a distant way of relating to someone in terms of actually being a parent, there is a grief in a death. But the world's evil. I won't have grief so if I can change it. Oh, I won't. I won't. And then after this passionate display here of, but the world's evil, I won't have grief, so if I can change it, oh, I won't. This desperation to have the grief, take this from me, this grief, I can't do it. He treats her almost with childlike language. There. You've said it all and you feel better. There you go. Oh, it's out now. Excellent. So you won't go. You're not going to leave because now that you've said it all, it's all out in the open and we can move on. You won't go now. You're crying. Close the door. He doesn't say you're crying. Can I do anything for you? I'll come and hug you. Let's hold each other. Let's embrace. No, close the door. The heart's gone out of it. Why keep it up, Amy? There's someone coming down the road. You. Now she's got absolute hatred for him. You. Oh, you think the talk is all? I must go somewhere out of this house. How can I make you? And she breaks off here these little sort of ellipsed half sentences, these truncated sentences here that obviously emotionally she's breaking down. He still doesn't get it. Oh, you're crying. Close the door. Your heart's gone out of leaving now. You're fine. You've just spoken all. She's like, you don't get it. Ugh. You think talk is all. You think having said this, then I'm done. And then he gets very threatening. If you do. She was opening the door wider. Where do you mean to go? First tell me that. I'll follow and bring you back by force. I will. And it ends on a truncated sentence. There is no ending. We end at that moment. She leaves and he says, I'll get you. I'll come back and I will bring you back. So this isn't the end of the matter. Nothing's resolved and nothing has been resolved. There is a lack of resolution. They maintain their state. He maintains his stoicism. She maintains her grief. They maintain the disparate and lost connection. She cannot now exist in the space that was the home and she will leave. He still violently controls her. Nothing has changed after this conversation. Nothing's been removed. Nothing has been made different. The discovery, therefore, even for the audience, for the reader, or for the viewer, if you're watching this actual argument, is that there is a disconnection between people. We cannot always feel that we have something intimate with someone, and this is a problem. This strikes completely away from the tuft of flowers and mending wall. This very modern, almost depressing poem. It's Frost almost writing against his own sentiment. It's Frost arguing against the connection. It's Frost suggesting that in this terminology, any rediscovery of the relationship is a bad and dangerous one. And so this one is a fantastic piece to actually work at in the essay because it runs against a lot of what the other sentiments are. It loses that lyricism, as you note from the language, and it loses that style. You will note, however, that it becomes much more poetic here at the end. These moments here are very clearly in stanzas, and they have 4 lines, 2 lines, 3 lines. There is a style to it as opposed to the long sort of parts here. Interesting piece, and it's something that I really recommend you take some time really figuring on, because whilst the other one's a single page, easy little piece, not easy, but sort of the ways in are quite straightforward. This one takes a bit of time to work with. The argument is profound, it's very adult, and it takes a lot of emotional sort of part of the self to read this and to go through it. But take your time with it. Give yourself every opportunity to really understand it at that profound, deep level. Think about some of the phraseology and the way it's written, and you'll find a way through.